5 years had passed since the night Marcus fled the Mongol camp with blood on his hands and silence in his eyes. The boy who once hid inside a trade drum, trembling between life and death, was gone. What remained was a young warrior carved from battles, sharpened by survival, and hardened by the memory of everything he had lost. Marcus was now 18. Taller, stronger, faster than any Mongol rider his age. His body carried the scars of wolves, blades, snowstorms, and ambushes. His face had grown into sharp lines and cold determination. His eyes, once soft with fear, now held the quiet fire of a storm that had learned to wait before striking. The Mongols called him the Silent Storm, a name whispered with both awe and caution. In these 5 years, Marcus had become the Khan's most trusted fighter. He rode at the front of every raid, learned the silent language of the steppes, mastered the bow on horseback, and survived battles that even seasoned riders could not. When he rode his black stallion through the camp, children paused, warriors nodded with respect, and elders muttered prayers of protection, for both him and those who might stand against him. Serenia had grown too. No longer the frightened young girl who once pleaded for Marcus's life, she now carried the grace of a warrior's daughter. Her eyes reflected both wisdom and sorrow, and her heart was forever bound to the quiet young man whom fate had thrown into her world. She was Marcus's only softness, the single thread that tied him to humanity. But time was not kind to the old Khan. Illness had crept into his bones like winter frost, stealing his strength day by day. Marcus stayed by his side, tending to him as though tending to the father he had lost long ago. The Khan would often rest his trembling hand on Marcus's shoulder and whisper, "If you were born to us, the throne would be yours." Such words never touched Marcus's pride, but they always stabbed at his heart. Then the day came. A wailing cry rose from the center of the camp, followed by the tolling of iron discs that echoed across the steppes. The Khan had taken his final breath. His last gesture had been to reach for Marcus and Serenia, placing their hands together, as though binding them with his dying wish. The camp fell into mourning. Fires burned low, drums silenced, and warriors bowed their heads as Serenia wept beside her father's still body. Marcus stood a few steps away, unmoving, carrying within him the same darkness he once felt when he watched his own family die. Another father had been taken from him. Another home turned cold. But the world of warriors does not allow grief to last. Within days, a new Khan was chosen, Toru Khan, a ruthless, ambitious man with eyes that never smiled. Toru had always envied Marcus for the loyalty the warriors gave him, and he despised the bond between Marcus and Serenia. Now, with power in his hands, he no longer needed to hide his intentions. During the Khan's funeral rites, Toru stood before the tribe and declared, "Tradition binds us. The daughter of a fallen Khan must marry the new Khan. Serenia is mine by the law of our ancestors." The words struck the ground like lightning. Serenia's breath froze. Her face strained of color. She turned her gaze toward Marcus, and in that single look, everything she feared and everything she hoped was revealed. Marcus felt the air thicken, felt his hands clench around the hilt of his knife. But he did not move. He did not speak. His silence was louder than any blade. Toru Khan saw that silence, and understood it. And feared it. He spent the night plotting. Marcus, beloved by the warriors, respected even by enemies, was a threat to his new rule. And threats must disappear. Long after the camp slept, 3 Mongol soldiers crept toward Marcus's tent with blades drawn. Toru had ordered them, "Kill him quietly. Let the camp wake to an empty bed." But Marcus was not asleep. Years of surviving ambush after ambush had sharpened his instincts beyond those of ordinary men. The moment the flap of the tent lifted, Marcus moved like a shadow. Steel flashed. A gasp. A fall. Within seconds 3 bodies lay twisted on the ground, their blood soaking into the cold earth. Marcus stepped into the night air and felt the truth settle like iron in his chest. The Mongols were no longer his family. This camp was no longer his home. And Toru Khan would stop at nothing to kill him. Before dawn could break, Serenia rushed into the forest where Marcus waited. Her cloak was thrown loosely over her shoulders. Fear had chased the color from her face. When she reached him, she did not speak immediately. She simply looked at him, as if memorizing him before fate tore them apart. Then her voice trembled. "I cannot stay here. Not as his bride. Not as a prisoner. I belong only with you. If you leave, I will follow. If you fight, I will stand behind you. Just don't leave me in his hands." For the first time in years, Marcus allowed the walls around his heart to fall. He cupped her face gently and whispered, "I will take you away from here. I will take you to Rome. The land where my life began, and where my truth waits." Serenia nodded, tears catching the moonlight. Together they fled into the darkness, two fugitives hunted by an empire of horsemen. When Toru Khan discovered their escape, rage consumed him. He ordered his finest riders to track them down. He wanted Marcus dead and Serenia dragged back alive. The camp erupted into a storm of hoofbeats and shouting warriors. Thus began the blood-soaked journey. Marcus and Serenia crossed frozen rivers, hid in mountain caves, fought off bandits and enemy scouts, and evaded the relentless pursuit of Mongol riders. Each battle pushed Marcus further into the legend he was becoming. Each step drew them closer to Rome, and further from everything they had once known. After weeks of hardship, hunger, and constant danger, they finally reached the stony cliffs overlooking a massive gate carved into the mountain. Above it shone the golden eagle, the symbol of Rome. Serenia stared at it with awe. "Is this your home?" Marcus looked at the emblem for a long moment, memories flooding his mind, fire, screams, blood, and his father's last breath. "No," he whispered. "My home burned the night my family died. I'm here now only for the truth, and whatever comes with it." Before he could take another step, Roman soldiers emerged from the shadows, spears raised toward them. "Stop! Identify yourselves!" Marcus stepped forward slowly, ready for whatever fate awaited him. The Roman soldiers tightened their formation as Marcus and Serenia stood at the stone threshold of the empire. Spears glinted in the cold light, shields locked tightly like the jaws of a beast ready to swallow anything that stepped too close. The wind carried the faint metallic scent of iron, Roman iron, the smell Marcus had forgotten but recognized instantly. "Identify yourselves!" The centurion barked again, stepping forward. His helmet plumes fluttered, and his sharp eyes traced every movement Marcus made. Marcus did not raise his hands. He did not lower his gaze. He simply stood there, tall, silent, carved like a statue born from war. Serenia clung to his arm, unsure if these men were salvation or a new threat. Marcus finally spoke, his voice deep, steady, strangely calm. "I am Marcus Aurelius, of Rome." The moment the name left his lips, silence rippled across the gate. A few soldiers exchanged confused looks. The centurion frowned, as though digging through distant memories. "That name is dead," he muttered. "Marcus Aurelius was killed 10 years ago in the northern raids. His body was never recovered." Marcus stepped closer. "My body was never found, because I survived." The centurion stiffened, but disbelief clouded his face. "No one survived that massacre. The entire village was burned. Women, children." Marcus's jaw tightened. "I know. I watched it happen." Serenia looked up at him, seeing the shadow pass across his eyes, the same shadow he carried since childhood. The centurion studied him for a long, uneasy moment. Then he motioned to the soldiers. "Lower your weapons. Let them through. But keep a close watch. If he lies, he dies." The iron gates groaned open, revealing the interior outpost of Rome, stone barracks, tall banners, and the deep red of legionary cloaks moving like streams of blood. Marcus stepped forward. For the first time in 10 years, his feet touched Roman soil. But nothing about it felt like home. They were escorted to the command hall, a stone chamber lined with maps and torches. A large emblem of the Roman eagle hung above the entrance, its wings spread wide as though it sought to claim everything under the sky. General Publius Vero, the commander of the frontier garrison, stood over a table littered with reports. He was an older man, but his shoulders still carried the weight of command. His eyes were sharp enough to carve truth from lies. When Marcus entered, the general's gaze locked onto him, scanning every scar, every movement, every piece of Mongol leather on his clothes. "You claim to be Marcus Aurelius," he said. "Prove it." Marcus remained expressionless. "Ask me anything." "My father was Lucius Aurelius, blacksmith of the northern province." "My mother—" General Varro cut him off. "Your mother was named Helena." "Your sister—" "Livia," Marcus whispered. "She was 3. A crack formed in the general's hardness. He exhaled slowly. "You, truly are the boy who vanished." Marcus nodded. The general leaned on the table, troubled. "You were declared dead. Your family's land seized. Your name struck from records. Rome does not recognize ghosts, Marcus." He paused. "But here you stand." Marcus felt a burning knot tighten inside him. "Then Rome must face the truth." The general looked at him long and hard. "What happened to you?" A silence like the edge of a blade filled the hall. Marcus did not answer. His memories spoke for him. Screams. Fire. His mother collapsing. His sister's small hands slipping from his grasp. His father's last breath. A village burning until nothing but ash remained. And after that, wolves, hunger, chains, snow, the drum, the valley, the Mongols. Marcus did not speak a single word of it. He just raised his eyes carved with 10 years of agony. The general understood everything without hearing it. Serenia stepped forward, uncertain. The Roman soldiers stared at her, her foreign clothing, her braided hair, her almond-shaped eyes. To them she was a stranger. A threat. A barbarian. General Varro's eyes sharpened. "And who is she?" Marcus moved slightly in front of her, a protector's instinct. "She is with me," he said. "That is all you need to know." Varro studied their closeness, the way Serenia held Marcus's sleeve, fear and trust mixed in her expression. He nodded slowly. "Very well. She will not be harmed." But as he turned away, a courier rushed in with a parchment sealed in red wax. "General!" he gasped. "Urgent report. Mongol riders sighted near the northern ridge." Marcus's blood froze. They had come. Toru Khan would not stop. Not until Marcus was dead, and Serenia dragged back in chains. General Varro slammed the parchment on the table. "So, the rumors were true. The Mongols push deeper every year." He turned to Marcus. "You came from their lands. You know their ways. Tell me, why are they here?" Marcus's voice was low, dark, certain. "They are here for me." The room fell silent. Varro stared at him with disbelief. "For you? A single man?" Marcus did not blink. "Toru Khan fears me. He fears the allegiance I earned. He fears I took what he wanted. He will chase me across the world if he must." Varro let out a slow breath. "You bring trouble, boy." Marcus met his eyes. "I bring truth." The general walked around the table and stopped in front of him. "Marcus Aurelius. Rome does not trust easily. But we are not fools either. If the Mongols truly hunt you, then the Empire must prepare. You will stay here under watch. Your companion as well." Serenia stiffened. Marcus placed a reassuring hand on her shoulder. Varro gestured to 2 guards. "Escort them to the inner chambers. And double the watch. If Mongols are coming, they will not come quietly." Marcus and Serenia were led away, down a long corridor lit by torches. As the heavy door closed behind them, Serenia whispered, "Did we come to safety, or a new cage?" Marcus looked toward the Roman emblem carved into the stone wall. "Neither," he said quietly. "We came to awaken what sleeps here." Outside, horns blew. The outpost stirred with urgency. And somewhere beyond the mountains, hooves thundered.